This is a stunning breaking story, and I'm amazed it's not getting more coverage yet. This bombshell comes from the city of Oldsmar, which is in the Tampa area, which is where they just had the Super Bowl. This is their water treatment facility you're looking at. And a hacker remotely accessed this water treatment facility in an attempt to poison all the residents that were fed water from this centralized area. We're going to go to the press conference where they detail exactly what happened in just a moment, and do not miss it. There's some jaw-dropping facts there. Here's WWSB ABC News saying, Sheriff, an investigation is underway after a hacker attempts to poison a Florida town's water supply. Pinellas County, for those of you who don't live in Florida, Pinellas is very close to Tampa. This water treatment plant is about 10 minutes or so away from Raymond James Stadium, where the Super Bowl just took place. The Pinellas County authorities, including Bob Gutierrez, said an individual remotely accessed a computer for the water treatment facility and increased the amount of lye, sodium hydroxide, by more than 100 times the normal amount. This is what is used to control the acidity in the water, and they cranked it up by 100 times to try to poison anybody who was using this water. Thankfully, somebody noticed that change and immediately fixed it. Officials noted the supervisor noticed somebody had accessed the computer remotely at 8 a.m., then again at 1:30 p.m. In the latter attempt, authorities say the hacker increased the amount of sodium hydroxide from 100 parts per million to 11,100 parts per million. Before we get to this press conference with the details, what would happen if you had sodium hydroxide poisoning or lye poisoning? These are the symptoms if you would have gotten an overdose of sodium hydroxide from this water. Breathing difficulty, lung inflammation, sneezing, throat swelling. You would have problems with your esophagus, intestines, and stomach, including blood in the stool, diarrhea, vomiting, and more. You would have problems with your eyes, ears, nose, and throat, including vision loss, severe pain or burning in the nose and eyes. Heart and blood, you could have a collapse, low blood pressure, rapid onset low blood pressure. And you could get burns to your skin, hives to your skin, and all of this stuff. You are to seek medical help right away if you are poisoned by sodium hydroxide. And this is what a hacker was able to remotely do to this Florida town's water supply. Let's go to the press conference now and listen in. Sheriff Bob Gutierrez gave this press conference, and he details what this hacker was able to do. This could have been absolutely disastrous and shows us there's a major threat out there for hackers who are who knows where to remotely access things that deliver things we trust, like our water. So let's now go to this press conference. Here it is.
On Friday morning at about 8 o'clock, a plant operator at the Oldsmar Water Treatment Facility noticed that someone remotely accessed the computer system that he was monitoring. This computer system controls the chemicals and other operations of the water treatment plant. The computer system was set up with a software program that allows for remote access where authorized users can troubleshoot system problems from other locations.
Let's secure that.
The remote access at 8 o'clock on Friday morning was brief, and the operator didn't think much of it because his supervisor and others will remotely access his computer screen to monitor the system at various times. So nothing else happened from that initial intrusion at about 8 o'clock on Friday morning until about 1:30, when someone again remotely accessed the computer system, and it showed up on the operator's screen with the mouse being moved about to open various software functions that control the water being treated in the system.
Unbelievable. This is the water you get at your household. If you're on any sort of city water, which most of us are, most of us don't think that there would be somebody who would be able to remotely access and then poison our water system. Now, luckily, they caught on to it this time, but what happens if they don't next time? And how many other times has this happened? Maybe you didn't even hear about it at other facilities around the country. And it is of note that this happened right as the Super Bowl was just 10 miles away at Raymond James Stadium. Now, I don't know that the stadium gets any water from this plant. In fact, I don't think that they do. But it is a bit of a coincidence that timing lines up.
The person remotely accessed the system for about 3 to 5 minutes, opening various functions on the screen.
Wow.
One of the functions opened by the person hacking into the system was one that controls the amount of sodium hydroxide in the water. The hacker changed the sodium hydroxide from about 100 parts per million to 11,100 parts per million. This is obviously a significant and potentially dangerous increase. Sodium hydroxide, also known as lye, is the main ingredient in liquid drain cleaners.
Great.
It's also used to control water acidity and remove metals from drinking water in the water treatment plants. After the intruder increased the parts per million from 100 to 11,100, the intruder exited the system, and the plant operator immediately reduced the level back to the appropriate amount of 100.
Clearly, that was their get out. They said, let's do this, and now we're out. And they were going to watch as potentially thousands and thousands of people got sick from their local drinking water. The TampaBay.com website says, breaking news, somebody tried to poison Oldsmar water supply during a hack. They're referring to all the things we've just discussed. And local and federal authorities are now investigating this. What are your thoughts when you hear that somebody can hack your city's water supply? That they can, via an internet connection, increase sodium hydroxide or other chemicals to perhaps fatal even level. I mean, I don't know if this got up to a level where it actually could have harmed somebody to the point that they would have died, but it's certainly not good for your system to have that much lye in the water. You heard about the increase that they had there from 100 parts per million to 11,100 parts per million is a significant amount. They say the plant has removed the dashboard software from the computer that was affected and the FBI is involved. But this seems to be a major problem, and the timing lining up with the Super Bowl is absolutely bizarre to me. What are your thoughts? Do you feel comfortable drinking city water knowing that there are hackers that can access and add, change, or increase the amount of chemicals that are going into your water? Is this a sign of the times that we're going to start seeing hackers targeting these utilities and then perhaps harming us from afar? This to me is kind of a scary story, but I'm really eager to see what you think on this. Let me know. Thank you for subscribing to the News Junkie. I appreciate you, and we'll talk to you again real soon.